Welcome to Healthy Aging Bites, where we believe aging isn't the end of the road, but the beginning of a new journey toward health, purpose, and vitality. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, a geriatric specialist with over 3 decades of experience, working alongside thousands of older adults across the United States. And today, I want to talk to you about something incredibly simple, something that might seem too small to matter, but that could actually make a big difference in your daily health and energy. That something is just 2 eggs every morning. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered what eating 2 eggs a day could actually do to your body, especially after age 60? If your answer is, I've never really thought about it, you're certainly not alone. For years, eggs have been misunderstood, even avoided due to concerns over cholesterol, heart disease, or high blood pressure. But modern nutrition science is giving us a very different picture. And even more convincing than the research are the real-life stories I've seen from my own patients. I remember one particular morning about 2 years ago, when a woman named Linda, age 68, walked into my clinic here in California. She lived alone. She looked worn out. Her hair was thinning, her memory was starting to slip, and her fingernails were brittle. She told me she just didn't feel like herself anymore. Her lab results? Fairly normal, nothing alarming. But her vitality, her energy was clearly fading. I asked her about her breakfast routine, and she responded with a sheepish smile. Just coffee, usually. Maybe a piece of toast. Sometimes nothing at all. So I gave her one of the simplest recommendations I've ever offered. Start each day with 2 eggs. Not a multivitamin, not an expensive supplement, just 2 eggs, a classic American breakfast staple we've had on our plates for generations. 6 weeks later, Linda came back. And honestly, I barely recognized her. She walked in more confidently. Her eyes looked brighter, and she was smiling from ear to ear. I don't feel sluggish in the mornings anymore, she said. And guess what? I've started remembering my grandkids' names again. That moment really hit me. It made me stop and question the blanket advice I had been giving for years. I was one of the doctors who used to tell patients to avoid eggs altogether. And now, I had to admit I was wrong. For decades, eggs were labeled the enemy of heart health. You probably heard that too, that eating eggs would raise your cholesterol and increase your risk of heart attack or stroke. But today, with research from top medical institutions like the American Heart Association, Harvard Medical School, and the Mayo Clinic, we now know dietary cholesterol is not the main culprit behind high blood cholesterol. And for most healthy adults, especially those over 60, eating 1 or 2 eggs a day is not only safe, it can be profoundly beneficial. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into exactly how 2 eggs a day can support your health as you age. Specifically, we'll cover 10 science-backed benefits of eating 2 eggs daily, especially for older adults. The latest nutritional research and real stories from my own patients. How to choose and prepare eggs safely and healthfully. And for those who can't or don't eat eggs, I'll share smart, balanced alternatives to help you get similar benefits. But before we dive into all of that, if you find this video helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Healthy Aging Bites. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating meaningful content to help older adults live stronger, healthier, and more independent lives every single day. Now, are you ready to discover what really happens inside your body when you eat 2 eggs every day, especially after 60? You might be surprised, and just maybe, you'll be inspired to make one small change that could have a big impact on your long-term health. Let's begin, and let's crack open the truth together. Section 1. Eggs. A small food with big benefits for aging bodies. You know, sometimes the most powerful things in life come in the smallest packages. And eggs, yes, just plain old eggs are one of the most underrated nutritional powerhouses out there, especially as we get older. Each large egg has just about 70 to 80 calories, yet it's packed with 6 grams of high-quality protein, plus essential nutrients like vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, riboflavin, selenium, and most importantly, choline. Why does this matter after age 60? Because as we age, our bodies naturally begin to absorb nutrients less efficiently. We start to lose muscle mass, our immune response weakens, and even our brain chemistry begins to shift. That means we need more nutrition per calorie, not less. And that's exactly what eggs provide. A low-calorie, high-density source of everything your body needs to stay strong, alert, and energized. Let me tell you about one of my longtime patients, Mr. Walter, a retired park ranger from Oregon. At age 70, Walter still enjoyed long walks in the woods, but he began noticing he'd get winded more easily. His energy dipped in the late mornings, and despite eating 3 meals a day, he felt like something was missing. When we reviewed his diet, I realized he was eating plenty, but not necessarily eating well. His breakfasts were mostly toast, orange juice, and the occasional muffin. Good comfort food, but very little protein. I recommended he try starting his day with 2 eggs scrambled, hard-boiled. However, he liked along with some veggies or a piece of whole grain toast. Within a few weeks, Walter noticed a difference. His energy held steady through lunchtime. His walks got easier, and, in his words, "I feel like my body's not working against me anymore." That's the beauty of nutrient-dense foods like eggs. You get so much value in such a small portion. You don't have to eat a lot, or spend a fortune, or shop at 5 different stores. Just a couple of eggs can help fill the nutritional gaps that naturally develop with age. Let's break it down even further. Protein is crucial not just for building muscle, but for maintaining it, which becomes critical as we age. You may not be training for a marathon, but you still want to stand up from a chair with ease, climb stairs without pain, and walk without fear of falling. Protein helps make that possible. Then there's vitamin B12, which supports nerve function and helps prevent memory loss, another common concern after 60. Vitamin D plays a vital role in bone health, especially for preventing fractures. And choline? It's the unsung hero for brain health and liver function. And eggs happen to be one of the richest natural sources available. So if someone tells you, "It's just an egg, how much can it really help?" I say, a whole lot more than you think. Because after 60, every bite matters more. And eggs? They're one of the smartest bites you can choose. Section 2. The truth about cholesterol. Why science has changed its mind about eggs. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. If you're over 60, chances are, at some point in your life, a doctor, a magazine, or a television commercial told you, "Stay away from eggs, they're bad for your heart." And for a long time, that was the prevailing advice. I know, because I used to say it myself. But today, we have better research, better tools, and a better understanding of how the body actually works, and the science has shifted. Let me explain. Back in the 1980s and 90s, eggs were demonized because of their dietary cholesterol, specifically the cholesterol found in the yolk. One large egg contains about 185 milligrams of cholesterol, and back then, the assumption was simple. Eating cholesterol raises your blood cholesterol, and high blood cholesterol increases your risk of heart disease. Sounds logical, right? Except it turns out, the human body doesn't work like a simple math equation. Your liver actually produces cholesterol on its own, about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams per day. And when you eat cholesterol, your body compensates by making less of it. For most healthy people, the cholesterol you eat has little effect on your overall blood cholesterol levels. In fact, studies now show that for the majority of people, eating eggs does not raise LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. In some cases, it even increases HDL, the good cholesterol, the one that helps clear out artery-clogging plaque. Let me share a real story. Janice, 66, came to see me because she had borderline high cholesterol. She was nervous about every bite she took, especially eggs. She hadn't touched them in over 15 years. When we reviewed her labs, I noticed her HDL was low, her triglycerides were high, and she was relying too much on processed, low-cholesterol foods, things like margarine, cereal bars, and low-fat pastries. Not ideal. I encouraged her to take a different approach. Cut back on the sugar, eat more whole foods, and yes, reintroduce eggs into her diet. Start with just 1 a day, and see how her body responds. After 12 weeks, her follow-up results showed something fascinating. Her HDL went up, her triglycerides went down, and her overall cholesterol ratio improved. And she told me she felt better than she had in years. "I stopped fearing food," she said. "I started eating real meals again, and my body thanked me." It's important to note, not everyone responds the same way to dietary cholesterol. Some people, called hyper-responders, may see a small increase in LDL. But even in those cases, it's usually the large, fluffy LDL particles that aren't as harmful as the small, dense ones that contribute to plaque buildup. Bottom line, if you're a generally healthy adult, eating 1 to 2 eggs per day is not harmful to your heart and may even be beneficial. Of course, if you've had a heart attack, have familial hypercholesterolemia, or a complex lipid disorder, you should always speak with your doctor. But for most older adults, especially those who eat eggs as part of a balanced diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, eggs can be a safe and nourishing part of your routine. It's time we let go of the myths and look at what the research and real-life results are telling us. Because when it comes to aging well, fear shouldn't be driving your food choices. Knowledge should, and that knowledge says eggs aren't the enemy. In fact, they might just be part of the solution. Section 3. Muscle Maintenance. How eggs help keep you strong after 60. Let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in conversations about aging. Muscle loss. After the age of 30, we start to lose muscle mass gradually. But after 60, that loss can speed up dramatically, a condition known as sarcopenia. And if we don't actively fight it, we risk becoming weaker, more prone to falls, slower to recover from illness, and less able to live independently. Now here's the good news. Muscle loss isn't inevitable, and one of the easiest tools to help preserve your strength is something you can start tomorrow morning with 2 eggs. Eggs are a complete protein source, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle. Even more importantly, they're rich in leucine, a key amino acid that plays a direct role in stimulating muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to maintain muscle. Let me paint a picture. George, one of my longtime patients, is 74 years old and had always been active until he suffered a minor fall in his backyard and fractured his hip. The physical recovery was hard, but what made it worse was the rapid muscle loss he experienced during those weeks of reduced movement. After surgery and rehab, we created a recovery plan that wasn't just about physical therapy, it was also about nutrition. We increased his protein intake, and I encouraged him to start each day with 2 eggs cooked however he liked to give his muscles the building blocks they needed. Within a few months, George wasn't just walking confidently, he was back to gardening and climbing stairs without help. "I never thought breakfast could change how my legs feel," he joked, "but it really has." Here's why this matters. After 60, your body becomes less efficient at using protein, which means you need more of it just to maintain the same level of strength you had before. If you're not getting enough high-quality protein, your muscles will break down faster than they can rebuild. Eggs offer a powerful yet simple solution. They're easy to chew and digest, especially important for older adults who may have dental issues or digestive concerns. And because they're so nutrient-dense, you don't have to eat a huge meal to get real benefit. Plus, eggs contain vitamin D, which also plays a critical role in muscle function and balance. That's especially important for fall prevention, which is one of the leading causes of injury in adults over 65. And if you're combining eggs with some light strength training, even just using resistance bands or walking upstairs, you're doing your future self a huge favor. You're preserving mobility, independence, and quality of life. Think of it this way. Every bite of protein you eat after 60 is like an investment in your future strength. And eggs? They're one of the smartest, easiest investments you can make. So the next time you crack an egg, don't just think breakfast. Think stronger legs, steadier steps, and a body that's working with you, not against you. Section 4. Brain Support. How eggs help sharpen memory and focus. If you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there, or struggled to remember a word that's right on the tip of your tongue, you're not alone. Mild forgetfulness is a normal part of aging, but there are nutritional tools we can use to support better brain function, sharper memory, and clearer focus. And yes, eggs are one of those tools. What makes eggs so special for your brain? One word: choline. Choline is an essential nutrient that plays a central role in maintaining the structure of brain cells. And more importantly, it's the key building block of a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is like the brain's messaging system. It helps with memory, learning, mood, and even muscle control. Here's the problem. Most Americans, especially older adults, don't get enough choline in their diets. The best natural source of choline? You guessed it, egg yolks. 2 eggs a day can provide over 250 milligrams of choline, which covers a large portion of the daily recommended intake for older adults. That's a big deal, especially when you consider that choline deficiency has been linked to cognitive decline and even higher risk for Alzheimer's disease. Let me tell you about Susan, a retired school teacher who came to me in her late 60s, concerned about her memory. She wasn't forgetting major events, but she found it harder to concentrate when reading, and sometimes lost track of conversations. When we looked at her diet, we realized it was low in choline and B vitamins. I recommended she add 2 eggs to her breakfast and make sure to eat the yolks along with leafy greens and a little healthy fat for absorption. Within a few weeks, Susan said she felt more mentally alert, and she even started journaling again, a hobby she had abandoned because she kept losing her train of thought. And it's not just choline. Eggs also contain B6, B12, and folate, 3 nutrients that help reduce levels of homocysteine, a compound that, when elevated, is associated with higher risk of cognitive impairment and stroke. Together, these nutrients act like protective armor for your brain, helping maintain cell integrity, reduce inflammation, and support long-term memory. Now, let's be clear. No single food is a miracle cure for dementia. But your daily habits, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, all stack up over time. And adding 2 eggs to your morning routine is an easy, realistic way to give your brain exactly what it needs to stay sharp. Because growing older doesn't have to mean growing foggier. Sometimes, all it takes is a small shift, like choosing eggs over empty carbs, to help your brain feel brighter, steadier, and more alive. 9th Section 5. Eye Health. How eggs help protect your vision after 60. If you've ever found yourself squinting at small text, struggling to read in low light, or noticing more glare when you drive at night, you're experiencing something very common after 60. Age-related vision changes. Now, here's something encouraging. What you eat can make a meaningful difference, and once again, eggs deliver. Egg yolks contain 2 powerful antioxidants called lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients play a direct role in protecting your eyes from damage, especially as you age. Let's break this down. Your eyes, especially the retina and the macula, are constantly exposed to oxidative stress from sunlight, screens, and even natural aging. Over time, this stress can lead to serious issues like age-related macular degeneration, AMD, and cataracts, 2 of the leading causes of vision loss in older adults. Lutein and zeaxanthin act like natural sunglasses inside your eyes. They filter out harmful blue light, reduce glare, and neutralize free radicals that can damage delicate eye tissue. Here's the problem. Your body can't produce these nutrients on its own. You have to get them from food, and while leafy greens like spinach and kale are good sources, eggs have a unique advantage. They contain these nutrients in a form your body absorbs more easily, thanks to the fat in the yolk. Let me tell you about Don, a retired photographer in his early 70s. He noticed his vision wasn't quite as sharp, especially when reading at night. He had already been taking supplements, but I asked him about his diet, and, like many people, he'd been avoiding eggs because of outdated cholesterol concern. When he started including 2 eggs with breakfast, along with his usual vegetables, he began to notice an improvement in contrast, light sensitivity, and eye strain. At his next ophthalmologist appointment, his retinal health was stable, and his AMD had not progressed. Don may never have perfect 20/20 vision again, but the nutrients in eggs are helping him preserve what he has, and that matters. Eggs also contain vitamin A, which is essential for good night vision. A deficiency in vitamin A can lead to dry eyes, blurry vision, and in severe cases, night blindness. So, if you want to support your eyesight, eggs offer a simple, effective way to do that without relying solely on supplements or expensive treatments. 2 eggs a day might not restore lost vision, but they can help you maintain sharp, functional eyesight as you age, allowing you to keep doing the things you love, whether that's reading, driving, painting, or simply seeing the smiles of your grandkids more clearly. And isn't that a vision worth preserving? 2. Section 6. Immune strength. How eggs help your body fight illness naturally. When we think about staying healthy after 60, we often focus on things like exercise, medications, or checkups, and yes, those are important. But there's another critical piece of the puzzle that starts right on your plate: your immune system. As we age, our immune response naturally weakens. This means we're more vulnerable to viruses, infections, slower healing, and longer recoveries from even common colds or seasonal bugs. That's why it's so important to support your immune system every single day, not just when you get sick. And once again, eggs can play a surprising role. Let's take a look at the nutrients inside those 2 humble eggs that help your immune defenses stay strong. Vitamin A, found in the yolk, is essential for keeping the tissues of your eyes, lungs, gut, and skin, the body's first line of defense, in good condition. It helps maintain the integrity of the mucous membranes that trap and block germs from entering your system. Vitamin D, another key player in immune function, helps regulate inflammation and activates immune cells. Research has even linked low levels of vitamin D to increased risk of respiratory infections, something especially important for older adults. Vitamin B12 supports the production and activity of white blood cells, your body's warriors against infection. And selenium, a powerful antioxidant also found in eggs, boosts your immune response while helping reduce harmful oxidative stress that can weaken your body's defenses. I had a patient named Martha, 72 years old, who had always been active but found herself getting sick more frequently, even catching colds 2 or 3 times a year. After reviewing her diet, we noticed she wasn't getting enough vitamin D or selenium. She had cut out eggs, dairy, and many other animal products, thinking she was eating clean. I encouraged her to reintroduce 2 eggs a day and to pair them with foods rich in fiber and healthy fats to round out her meals. The following year, she didn't get sick once. Now, of course, eggs alone won't make you invincible, but they can be a simple, steady support for a healthier immune response. In fact, when combined with a colorful, balanced diet and healthy movement, they help lay the nutritional foundation your body needs to stay resilient. It's worth noting that many older adults are quietly deficient in vitamin D and selenium, especially during winter months or if they avoid certain foods. Eggs offer an easy, natural source of both without needing a cabinet full of pills. So the next time you're planning your breakfast, think beyond just satisfying your hunger. Think about fueling your immune system, giving it the nutrients it needs to protect you today, tomorrow, and in the years ahead. After all, the best defense doesn't always come from a pharmacy. Sometimes it comes from your own kitchen. Mimation Section 7. Blood sugar balance. How eggs help stabilize energy and control cravings. Let's talk about energy, or more specifically, those mid-morning crashes, afternoon yawns, or that hangry feeling that hits out of nowhere. If that sounds familiar, your blood sugar may be to blame, and how you start your day makes a huge difference. When you eat a breakfast high in sugar or refined carbs like cereal, pancakes, or white toast, your blood sugar spikes, and what goes up must come down. That rapid drop in glucose is what leaves you feeling tired, irritable, or suddenly craving more snacks. But eggs help put an end to that roller coaster. Here's why. Eggs are very low in carbohydrates and have a glycemic index close to 0, which means they don't cause blood sugar to spike. Instead, they provide steady, lasting energy thanks to their high-quality protein and healthy fats. This helps your body digest food more slowly and keeps you feeling full longer. For older adults, this is especially important. As we age, our insulin sensitivity declines, making it harder to regulate blood sugar. That's one reason why so many people over 60 are at risk for type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, often without knowing it. One of my patients, Ron, 69, had never been diagnosed with diabetes, but he noticed he was constantly hungry just an hour after breakfast and had trouble focusing late in the morning. His typical breakfast? A glass of orange juice and a toasted English muffin with jam. We made one small change. I asked him to replace that high-carb meal with 2 eggs, a handful of sautéed spinach, and half an avocado. The result? His energy leveled out, his morning brain fog lifted, and at his next checkup, his fasting blood glucose had improved. That's the power of eating in a way that works with your metabolism, not against it. Eggs can also help reduce cravings, which means you're less likely to reach for those sugary or highly processed snacks that push your blood sugar back into chaos. This isn't just helpful for managing weight, it also supports your long-term metabolic health. Even if you've already been diagnosed with diabetes or insulin resistance, studies show that including eggs as part of a balanced, lower-carb diet may help improve blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. And here's the bonus. When your blood sugar is stable, you feel calmer, clearer, and more in control physically and emotionally. So if you're tired of riding the blood sugar roller coaster, try starting your day with eggs. You might be surprised at how much steadier and more energized your day feels. No crashes, no cravings, just consistent fuel to carry you through. Sometimes, the key to more energy isn't more coffee, it's a smarter breakfast. Section 8. Weight management. How eggs help you feel full and support healthy aging. Let's face it, managing weight gets harder as we get older. Between hormonal shifts, slowing metabolism, reduced muscle mass, and sometimes even emotional eating, keeping a healthy weight after 60 can feel like an uphill battle. And if you've ever tried restrictive diets, skipped meals, or counted calories to exhaustion, you already know it's not just about eating less. The truth is, what you eat and how it makes you feel matters more. That's where eggs come in. One of the biggest advantages of eggs is how satisfying they are. Thanks to their high protein content and healthy fats, eggs help you feel full for hours. That means fewer between meal snacks, fewer cravings, and a more natural reduction in total daily calories, all without feeling deprived. Let me share a story. Elaine, 65, came to me frustrated. She was gaining weight around her midsection, felt constantly tired, and was skipping breakfast to save calories. But by mid-morning, she was hungry and reaching for muffins or granola bars, not because she lacked willpower, but because she was running on empty. I encouraged her to flip the script, start the day with nourishment instead of restriction. 2 eggs, a few slices of tomato, and a sprinkle of feta on a whole grain wrap. In just 2 months, Elaine lost 7 pounds without ever counting calories. But more importantly, she felt more in control of her eating, less bloated, and mentally clearer. I finally feel like I'm eating like an adult again, she told me. What made the difference? It wasn't magic, it was satiety. Eggs are especially effective in the morning, when your body's hormonal balance is setting the tone for the day. The protein in eggs helps regulate ghrelin, your hunger hormone, and promotes the release of peptide YY, a hormone that signals fullness. And here's another benefit. Eating eggs helps prevent blood sugar and insulin spikes, which are not only linked to weight gain, but also to fatigue, inflammation, and long-term chronic disease. So, does this mean eggs alone will make you lose weight? Of course not. But when combined with fiber-rich veggies, healthy fats, and whole foods, they create meals that help your body naturally regulate appetite, support a healthy metabolism, and make weight management sustainable. After all, the goal isn't to diet, It's to eat in a way that supports your strength, balance, and joy in everyday life. Eggs help make that possible. And let's not forget, maintaining a healthy weight as you age isn't just about appearance. It's about preserving mobility, protecting your joints, reducing your risk for diabetes, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. So, next time you sit down for breakfast, remember, you don't need to eat less. You need to eat smarter, and 2 eggs is a great place to start. Section 9. Strong bones and fall prevention. How eggs support bone health. When we think of bone health, most people immediately think of calcium. And yes, calcium is critical. But here's the often overlooked truth. Calcium can't do its job without vitamin D. And vitamin D is one of the essential nutrients found in, you guessed it, egg yolks. As we get older, maintaining strong bones becomes more than just a health goal. It becomes a matter of independence, safety, and mobility. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury in adults over 65, often resulting in fractures that can take months to heal, if they heal completely at all. And yet, many older adults, especially those who avoid the sun or follow strict diets, are deficient in vitamin D. That puts your bones at risk, no matter how much milk or supplements you're taking. One large egg contains about 40 IU of vitamin D, and while that may not sound like a lot, when you eat 2 eggs a day and combine it with safe sun exposure and other vitamin D-rich foods like salmon or fortified products, you're helping build a foundation for stronger bones. But that's not all. Eggs are also a natural source of phosphorus, another mineral that works hand in hand with calcium to build and maintain the structure and density of bones and teeth. And remember what we said earlier about protein? Your bones aren't just made of minerals, they're also made of collagen, and protein helps support the production of collagen, the flexible framework that gives bones their strength and resilience. Let me share a story about Carolyn, age 73. She came to see me after experiencing her second minor fall in just 6 months. Thankfully, there were no fractures, but her bone scan showed early signs of osteopenia, a thinning of the bones that can lead to osteoporosis. We talked not just about calcium and walking more, but about her diet. Like many older women, Carolyn had spent years avoiding egg yolks because of outdated cholesterol fears. Her breakfast consisted mostly of low-fat yogurt and fruit, not bad, but lacking in vitamin D and protein. I encouraged her to reintroduce eggs 2 per morning, with a side of sautéed greens. She also added a short daily walk to get more sunlight. 6 months later, her balance had improved. Her repeat scan showed slower bone loss, and most importantly, she had no further falls. Supporting bone health isn't just about what goes into your skeleton, it's about everything that keeps you on your feet. Your muscles, your nerves, your balance, your reflexes. Eggs provide the nutritional building blocks for all of those systems. And let's not forget, eggs also contain vitamin K, which plays a key role in bone metabolism and helps regulate calcium deposits, making sure calcium gets into the bones where it belongs, not the arteries where it doesn't. So, if you want to keep walking confidently, avoid fractures, and stay independent well into your 70s, 80s, or beyond, 2 eggs a day can be a smart step forward. Not just for your bones, but for your freedom to move, live, and enjoy life fully. Section 10. How to safely choose, cook, and enjoy eggs every day. By now, we've seen just how much impact 2 simple eggs a day can have on your energy, focus, muscle strength, heart health, and beyond, especially after 60. But before you head to the kitchen, let's make sure you're getting the most out of your eggs safely and smartly. First, how do you choose the right eggs? Look for clean, uncracked eggs with intact shells. Avoid any that have visible dirt, leaks, or unusual odors. When in doubt, do the float test at home. Gently place the egg in a glass of water. If it sinks and lays flat, it's fresh. If it stands upright or floats, it's time to toss it. Storage matters too. Always keep eggs in their original carton, inside the refrigerator, ideally at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, or colder. Avoid storing eggs on the fridge door, where temperature can fluctuate each time it's opened. Next, what's the best way to cook eggs for maximum nutrition? Great news! Eggs are incredibly versatile, and they're one of the few foods that can be cooked in multiple ways without losing their core nutrients, as long as you avoid overcooking or burning. Here are a few methods that preserve the most nutrition. Boiled, hard or soft. Great for meal prepping and retaining most of the vitamins in the yolk. Poached. No added fats. Gentle cooking ideal for delicate digestion. Scrambled with veggies. Add spinach, mushrooms, or tomatoes for a nutrient boost. Cook with a touch of olive oil for heart-healthy fats. Omelette style. A satisfying complete meal when paired with whole grains or avocado. And yes, it's totally okay to eat the yolks. That's where you'll find vitamin D, choline, lutein, and other key nutrients. A few safety tips, especially for older adults. Avoid eating raw or undercooked eggs, especially if you have a weakened immune system. Raw eggs carry a risk of salmonella, which can be dangerous for seniors. That means skipping the raw cookie dough or homemade Caesar dressing unless you're using pasteurized eggs. When cooking, make sure egg whites are fully set and yolks are thickened. If you prefer your yolks runny, choose very fresh eggs from reputable sources and still cook them enough to reduce risk. And don't rinse your eggs before storing them. It can remove their natural protective coating, making them more vulnerable to contamination. What if you don't eat eggs due to allergies, dietary choices, or personal preference? No problem. There are several healthy alternatives you can use, especially in baking or plant-based diets. Chia seeds. Mix 1 tablespoon of chia with 3 tablespoons of water. Let it sit for a gel-like egg substitute. Mashed bananas or unsweetened applesauce. Great for binding ingredients in baked goods. Silken tofu or cooked lentils. Excellent protein, rich options in savory dishes. While these substitutes won't provide all the same nutrients as eggs, especially choline or vitamin D, they can still support a balanced diet when paired with other whole foods. And if you're skipping eggs altogether, consider talking with your doctor about how to fill in nutritional gaps with other sources like salmon, leafy greens, mushrooms, fortified plant milks, or high-quality supplements. The most important takeaway? Eggs are one of the most affordable, accessible, and nutrient-rich foods out there. And with just 2 a day, you're giving your body a solid foundation for healthy aging from your brain to your bones. So don't overthink it. Whether you like them scrambled, hard-boiled, or sunny-side up, the key is consistency. Make eggs a regular part of your routine, paired with other wholesome, colorful foods, and you'll feel the benefits with each passing week. Because real health isn't built on fads or trends, it's built on the simple things you do every day. And eggs? They're a pretty great place to start. Conclusion: 2 eggs, 1 simple choice. A healthier you after 60. And there you have it. We've just taken a deep dive into what happens to your body when you eat 2 eggs every day after 60. And as you've seen, it's about so much more than breakfast. From protecting your heart and sharpening your memory, to strengthening your muscles, stabilizing your blood sugar, boosting immunity, and supporting your vision, those 2 humble eggs, they're small but mighty. But what I hope you take away from this video isn't just a list of nutrients or benefits. It's this simple idea. The way you age is deeply influenced by the small choices you make every single day. You don't need drastic diets. You don't need the latest health fad. You don't need a cabinet full of supplements. You need real food, real nourishment, real consistency. I've spent over 30 years sitting across from patients just like you, hardworking, vibrant people who want to stay sharp, strong, independent, and engaged with life. And time and again, I've seen that when they nourish their bodies with purpose, amazing things happen. Not overnight, but over time through everyday meals, quiet routines, and yes, even something as small as 2 eggs in the morning, we can shape our future. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to enjoy every stage of life. And the great news is, you don't have to do it alone. That's why we created Healthy Aging Bites to be your trusted companion in this journey. To give you science-backed insights, real-life stories, and simple tools you can use today to live with more clarity, vitality, and joy. So before you go, I want to invite you. Give eggs a try. Make one small shift. And most importantly, if you found this video helpful, please click like, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week covering topics like nutrition, mobility, cognitive health, emotional wellness, and more, all designed specifically for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Your support helps us keep going and keeps these resources free for everyone. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I'm Dr. Richard Hale, and this has been another episode of Healthy Aging Bites. Until next time, stay curious, stay hopeful, and keep making choices that serve your future self. Because aging well doesn't start with big resolutions. It starts right here on your plate.